Welcome to the Pulse of the Heartland podcast, the podcast where no topic is off limits. Now, welcome the boys of the Heartland, Bryant, Ryan, Clark, Joey, and Trent. If you've ever kicked around the idea of starting a podcast like the boys of the Heartland, we all recommend Anchor by Spotify. It is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. So novice podcasters like the boys of the Heartland can jump right in. Anchor has all the tools that allow you to edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Welcome to the Pulse of the Heartland podcast. This is the Funcast episode 19. Everybody, thank you for listening to prior podcasts, and continue to hang out with us here a couple times a week. We really appreciate it. We also appreciate any feedback that you could give us. Joey, how can people give us those feedback?
Yeah, please hit us up in our DMs on Instagram and Twitter. You can find us at Heartland Pulse on Facebook and YouTube. Look up Pulse of the Heartland. And we're on all of the major platforms: Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio. And if you can't find us on any of those, or you don't have any of those, ask one of your friends and we'll get you that Anchor app. Just shoot us a DM. And as always, guys, we thank you very much for listening. If you like what we're doing, spread the news. Let everyone else enjoy this dumb shit that we like to call Pulse of the Heartland.
And I guess if you're still hearing us right now, that means we did not get canceled by the Taylor Swift fans. Go us. That is right. All right. Well, Uncle Joe, what are you drinking?
I'm sticking with the liquor and caffeine. I got some vodka diet cherry Pepsi rolling, and it's doing pretty good so far.
All right. Still sticking with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. West River Ryan, what are you drinking?
I'm trying something a little different here. I'm opening up a bottle of whiskey that my brother gave me. He got it for free, so he gave it to me for free. Hudson Whiskey New York Backroom Deal is the name of it. It's I know why it's free. I should say that.
So are we going to tag them in this podcast?
No, maybe keep them out of this one. It's the price is right.
Free.
Come on down.
So he got it for free. He gets booze for free. He gets all these golf clubs for free. He wins every Instagram contest he ever joined.
Think of that.
I don't get it.
What does Kevin not get for free?
I know.
I'm the whiskey drinker of the family, and I'm not getting free whiskey. What the heck?
That's why we need to shout people out.
Man.
Oh. Well, I don't know how Kevin does it. Apparently, we just need him to be part of this little thing to figure out how to get the free stuff.
Did he buy a Powerball ticket? Because he should.
He's winning the wrong stuff.
Right.
Yep.
All right, Homer Bryant, what are you drinking?
Well, my buddy, to help me get over the Iowa State loss last week, he gave me a free bottle of Boone's Farm Strawberry Hill. So I don't know if this is to make me feel better or to remind me of the feeling I had that night. But it's not going down too smooth right now.
I thought you were gonna say like a bottle of Cheez-It flavored wine or something like that.
I'd welcome that at this point.
The best thing you can do with Boone's Farm is just race somebody. Just a couple of you get a bottle each and see who finishes first.
I mean, that's like on the same level as Mad Dog.
It's like this one's supposed to be strawberry flavored. It's like, do you want strawberries? But it was wrung out from a dirty rag. Like, that's what this tastes like right now.
Every time we see, like, we're in a liquor store somewhere, with my dad, and he sees Boone's Farm, and it's like $4.50 or $5 or whatever. He's like, geez, I remember when that was 25 cents.
Damn inflation. Now I can barely afford my Boone's Farm top water with a little strawberry in there.
$5 a bottle. All right. Well, Gutterballs Brewbaker, what do you drink?
Well, I cleaned it up here for the fun cast. I'm just sipping on some Oak and Eden on the rocks.
Yum.
Really tasting that charred spire. Delicious.
Don't need to be
I should-
caffeinated anymore.
Nope, I'm all out.
I should probably pour the stuff that I have down the drain and go get my Oni.
You need to chug that.
Oh,
Shoot
I've
it.
already put water in it. Like, I don't do that.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Sounds like you need to chug it to me.
It'll go down.
Yeah, mix it. Soda. There you go.
Trent, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Old Reliable. It's a Busch Light.
Now,
Nice.
is it the camo can? Is it the corn can? Or is it just the normal blue can?
Just the normal blue can. They did come out with new ice fishing cans, though, I saw.
Really? What's on it?
People ice fishing.
Oh. I didn't know if it was just like a fish that got blue, like the Coors Light cans or something.
Is that still considered a latte?
Anything Busch Light is considered a latte.
Okay.
We drink it with our pinkies up.
So you can still have it for breakfast. That's fine then.
Yeah, this is a venti.
Trent, if you do run out of those cans, I am on eBay right now, and you can buy 2 of them for $10.
2 of the ice fishing ones?
Yeah, limited edition cans, empty drink beer cans. So
you better be keeping those, Trent.
Or I could go buy a 30-pack of them full for like $18.
Jeez, limited edition.
Dude, you're paying for your case of beer there if you just sell the cans.
Right.
That's true.
Oh my God. There's someone that specializes in just selling Busch Light cans on eBay here. What a fascinating discovery here.
I'm going to go ahead and say there's a 96.7% chance they are from Iowa.
Oh, yeah. There's one here, Trent. I'll send you the link. It's the Busch Light fishing can, the Busch Latte, the deer camping or the deer hunting one, the camo one, Busch Light Apple, which I would recommend. You can drink about 2 or 3 of them and have a good time.
Yeah, Busch Light Apple's not
you're
bad.
Gonna get heartburn, and then the corn can. So I'll send you that link here.
All right.
So speaking of special cans, I'll tweet out a photo from back in the day when I lived in Iowa City.
Mm-hmm.
I had picked up a case of Keystone Light because back in the day that was great in Iowa City for some reason. And they had find the orange can, win a prize. And I thought it was like 1 in a million chance and you won $1 million. The case I opened up had a orange can in it. Took a picture with it. We were all celebrating. I went to enter the information and I ended up putting like a hat or some dumb shit. It instantly killed the mood. But I've got a great picture of me just smiling and hugging a Keystone Light orange can, and I will try and find that right now to put on Twitter.
I remember, you were talking about Keystone in Iowa City. Like you're like, it's good. It was good in Iowa City. I remember we went. It was me and Dylan. I went down there for St. Practice Day, and we went and bought a flat of Keystone Tall Boys at that liquor store. That's like, I don't know. I think just south of the Ped Mall there.
Yep, liquor downtown.
Is that okay?
Yep.
That place is awesome. Bought a flat of Tall Boy Keystones.
Yep. And so if you bought more than $20, then you got a free, if you took your receipt over to Falbo's, you got a free slice of Falbo's pizza.
I don't think we did that.
Well, you're just trying to support small business there is all I heard.
Falbo's pizza is dope.
All right, well, let's jump on into this thing. First things first, let's talk about some smoking. So I smoked some T-bones. I threw the picture up on Instagram on New Year's Eve. Just did 6 T-bones from our cow that we had those in the freezer. So thought I'd do those up. They turned out awesome. I've done steaks on the smoker before, but I think these are probably the best I've ever done. Just did them for 40 minutes at 250 and flipped them halfway through. And then I took them off. I opened up the reverse sear to get that real heat going, cranked it to 450 and then put them on for 2 minutes aside. They were perfect. So
Nice.
I don't know if you guys have really done steaks. I don't think it's real common to do steaks on the smoker, but I think
the only way I do them now.
That's my preferred method now. It's super easy and they were great. So Katrina, she just wanted salt and pepper on them to season them. So I took mine and I put the Pit Boss brand Sweet Heat rub on mine and it was amazing. So yeah, like I said, that's going to be my preferred method.
A
So
little bit of ketchup and Trent was in heaven.
Oh God.
no, that's that is a lie. No steak, no steak sauce. I mean, I think you could look in my fridge right now. There is not steak sauce in there, so don't need it.
And I's
Good.
the only
Ketchup.
one here that used meat church rubs seasonings.
No, I've got them at work. I don't have any at home.
I love the meat church stuff.
See, I don't know. The gospel was good. Don't get me wrong, but we've also bought another one that was an all-purpose seasoning from Academy Sports, and it was almost better in my opinion. But I love following their stuff on YouTube, so if I can find it anywhere, I will definitely pick up some.
I like using their honey hog for a lot of pork stuff.
Nice.
So you got it? Got the smoke fixed? Did you use it?
Nope, I did not. No, as well as New Year's weekend, so
Yeah.
it was a pretty busy weekend. I'm hoping I still got some ribs and a ham that I want to do. Hopefully soon I can get to that.
I wonder if Seth got his raise.
You know,
I hope
good
so.
for Pit Boss liked our posts about it, so I hope they saw it and did the right thing. Come on, Pit Boss, do the right thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
and Seth, maybe he's a listener now. Maybe there's not a random person that has no idea that we talk about him for 6 weeks in a row. So
Probably your number one fan now.
probably,
I hope so.
yeah.
I think you should just be honorary sixth guest once he
Yes.
finally answers us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have an open invite for you, Seth. Once you hear this, let us know. We'll have you on.
We definitely don't sound like crazy exes that we will just welcome him back into our lives whenever he decides.
What if
I
he
thought,
does?
I thought we were done talking about Taylor Swift.
What if he has been listening and he hears this, but he just hates his job?
And now he knows he helped someone out, so now he's got that conflict of do I keep my job because I'm helping people? Oh God,
I
that'd be
did the
terrible.
Lord's work by helping, but yeah, I hate it.
Yeah.
Clark, sounds like you're gonna have a pretty big cook coming up.
Yeah, the house is going to be full this weekend. Got a bunch of family coming in town. So I'm going to be putting some old cooks to good use. Got a little bit of chicken in the freezer. Got a little bit of pulled pork. So I'm going to be making up some chicken noodle soup with that chicken. And then I like to add pulled pork to my chili. So I'm going to make a big old double batch chili and some chicken noodle and feed all them hungry mouths. So it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. So you're not gonna actually smoke anything this weekend? Just gonna use some old cooks?
You know, I've got some cream cheese in the house. I was thinking about just firing up the smoker to make some of that. I mean, that stuff is delicious. This weekend, I haven't heard yet if my brother-in-law is going to bring that bison brisket. If he does, I'm going to have to cook that.
No.
So
Tell him to bring it frozen, and you thaw it starting like next Tuesday, and we cook it the weekend after.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that's going to work, but it's a good thought, you know.
Yeah. I could try.
Yeah, so I don't know. I got some spare ribs in my freezer here. I've been waiting to cook those. Ribs are probably by far my favorite barbecue item. I love cooking ribs. Like, there's nothing better. They're just never as good at any restaurant, no matter how good that restaurant does ribs. That nothing beats a good old home smoked rib. So I'm waiting for that opportunity.
I agree.
I know I've said this multiple times, and I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but ribs might be the prettiest thing to smoke. Like, you start basting them with butter or spritzing them, and they just get that nice golden brown flavor on the top, and then they just soak in that rub that you put. Man, they're so pretty to cook. I love cooking them. They just look good, and they taste good afterwards too.
Oh yeah. What really kills me is my wife is not such a huge fan of ribs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I'm gonna cook these 6 racks of ribs. I'm gonna eat them all myself. I don't care if you eat anything tonight, but I'm gonna eat.
And see, I am not a huge rib person either. I do like them, don't get me wrong, but I'm not like, they're not my end all thing I throw on the grill or anything. I'm way more of a steak person. So
okay. just off the top of my head here, what is everybody's favorite thing off the smoker to eat?
I really like pork loin, and I'm really good at it. And just like, I don't even have to think about doing it anymore. It's just like second nature. But I really like me some smoked pork loin.
Yeah, I love pork loin.
I haven't done one of those yet.
So
Super easy.
my favorite is probably the ribs, and I do them a little different than I think you guys do. I don't do the 3, 2, 1. I just do 2 and 2, and they're probably the best ribs I've ever made. Like perfect consistency for me. Fall off the not like falling apart in your hand, but you take a bite and it comes off the bone easy. Yeah, those ribs are my favorite.
And see, I'm with you. I don't do the 3, 2, 1 unless I'm going to sauce them on the smoker. But if I'm not going to sauce them, they're already done enough after I get them unwrapped. So I just take them off.
Yeah, those things are done after, when they're still in the foil, and then you go another hour, they get pretty, you pick the bone up and the meat stays on the plate.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you, Trent?
I think I'm kind of torn here. The ribs, I love doing ribs on the smoker, but I also love doing those pork belly burn-ins.
Yeah.
But I would say ribs. I love my ribs when I do them on the smoker.
Nice.
Yeah. About you, Ryan?
I know this is kind of lame, but god dang, I like cheeseburgers on that thing. So good. So juicy.
Mm-hmm.
And like you sent a picture of your beef the other night. I like to mix in the shredded cheese with it too when I put it on. And there was actually one I made kind of a cheeseburger bowl where I put cream cheese in it too. It's just so
nice.
good.
Good old Joey burgers.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Made those, and he's like, "Oh, these are called Joey burgers." I'm like, "Who the hell is Joey?"
Yeah, this is probably like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yep, that is me. So I've done these for forever. But I'll take a ranch packet with shredded cheese and mix it all up in a bowl with my ground beef and put them on the grill, and made them for some family get together for about 40 of us, and made a ton of them, and they were delicious. And all my cousins were like, "Oh, those were so good. What are those?" I was like, "Oh, it's a recipe I made up. I call them Joey burgers." Literally got it off the back side of the ranch packet. And it took a good 4 or 5 years for people to figure that out. And I'm like, I'll just go with it.
It's an old family recipe. Don't you worry about it.
So I guess since, don't want to leave Bryant out, doesn't have to be necessarily something that you smoke, Bryant, but what's your favorite thing?
No, I was just gonna say I kind of like Joey's son of done a couple of videos on it on our Instagram. I kind of like those cheese dips in there. I mean, and it's simple enough. When you're whatever you're smoking, your ribs or brisket or whatever, and you can just put them on the next rack, and then whenever it's ready, you can just pull it off at any time. But those cream cheese dips, I kind of like. Honestly, I kind of like this. When sides get smoked on there as well. Any of those quesos and stuff, it's always delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done queso. Queso's great on the smoker as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it is.
So,
yep. Yeah. Well, going off what Brian said, like any sides you can do. One of my best things that I've gotten the most compliments on was that jalapeno popper mac and cheese. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I did a queso. We call it a dip day at work. I don't know, it was like a month or two ago. And that's what I did, was the smoked queso, and everybody seemed to like it. So
cool.
All right. Ryan, are you gonna smoke anything this weekend?
I do not know what's even on my schedule this weekend, to be honest with you. I'm sure there's something baby related. So if I have some free time, I'll be more than happy to try.
She isn't even out of the womb, and she's already dominating his life.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, well, we still have 13 more weeks to go, or 12 more weeks to go. But yeah, if I have some free time, I will definitely put it up on the socials.
Well, I think the baby wants smoked meats.
The baby might. It kind of depends on if the mother wants it too.
Well, there's only one way to get it to the baby right now, so.
Eat up, Rebecca.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. I don't know how it is for you and Brittany Clark, but ours is kind of a rascal right now. We take her to get ultrasounds and stuff, and she's kicking the probe all the time, and then sending us to the hospital. It's a lot of fun right now.
Seems to be the same vibes. No hospital visits, but anytime they try to get Doppler ultrasound, yeah, she's not real cooperative. So
No, not at all. So that's fun.
So I do want to. I'm kind of curious. Baby update. Have you guys started throwing together a nursery yet, Ryan?
Yes, we we have crib, and we actually bought quite a bit of furniture too. It's coming along.
Sweet. So that was kind of what we were doing this weekend. One of Brittany's good friends and teammates from college, they were giving us a crib. So we hauled something down that they bought in Wichita. We picked up for them, and then we brought a crib back. So it's gonna start to take some shape here soon.
Yeah, we kind of lucky because one of Rebecca's sisters likes doing all that type of stuff, and so I'm really kind of hands off, to be honest. If there's something
perfect
if there's something that needs to be put together, then I can do that. But as far as all the other stuff, I'm all right. You guys have fun. I'll be downstairs playing Xbox.
So when we were in Kansas, we obviously had Amelia when we were in Kansas, and Katrina kind of picked out the colors. We picked out the colors for the nursery, so I painted the room and everything, and it was pointed out to me that I accidentally painted it K-State colors. It was purple and
Trent's a big
gray.
fan.
So that was the
guy.
ultimate deciding factor in selling our house and moving. We probably could have got like 10,000 more for the house if it wasn't
gold.
Yeah, we probably could get like 10 more thousand out of our house if we would have painted it different colors, but whatever. So
the boys from the Heartland will be right back.
all right, well, let's jump into college basketball. Again, this is getting repetitive, but it's fun. The Heartland teams are well represented in the top 25. Purdue's still third. Kansas is sixth. Michigan State's up there at 10th. Iowa State, they dropped to 11 after getting beat by number 1 Baylor. LSU's 21. And Iowa, they're getting
going to be
votes.
number 1 after the win against Kentucky, I bet.
They're going to jump 20 spots, huh?
Nice.
That's my bold prediction.
All right.
And it's not just the Hudson whiskey talking.
Are you sure?
No.
The whiskey might not taste good, but it makes Ryan really interesting.
There you go.
Not going to be the last bold one today.
Oh, can we get a bowl update?
No, there's a commercial. There's some naked dude dancing on the TV right now.
It is.
Well,
The score
28-7.
was 28-7
It's
Yeah.
ironic we were just talking about smoking meats because LSU is getting smoked right now. It's 28 currently.
It's kind of ugly.
Oh man. So let's hop into the Big 12. Iowa State, they, like I just mentioned, they lost to number 1 Baylor. It was a good game. They lose by 5. We talked about that last week, that Bryant and we talked about that. We just wanted to see him hang tough. We didn't think that we would win necessarily, but
And they did just that, dude.
yeah, they hung tough. They got down by 12 or 13 a couple times and would come back. So they hung with them. They made it respectable. They held Baylor to their lowest point total all year, forced their most turnovers all year. So again, it was that defense that kept us in it.
And really, I think everyone, unfortunately, or most of the haters, are going to look at the one for 14 from the 3. It's like, well, every team's going to have that bad type of shooting night. But I mean, like you said, we shoot 1 for 14, and we're still able to keep it within 2 scores of the number 1 team in the country. Now, I don't know how much home court advantage had there. I know they were pretty loud, but I don't think anyone is really, actively going to be be like I said, the haters are going to hate regardless. But
you're wondering how much magic there was at Hilton?
Yeah, not enough. They needed to cast a couple more spells there, but no, it was I don't know. I think Hilton Magic is a little back. It couldn't quite get them over Baylor, but I mean, they remind me a couple years ago of when Hoiberg was there, and they're getting these transfers that are just contributing tremendously to that program. You know, and Baylor might be one of the hottest teams in college football and basketball. I mean, both of their teams, they just went to what bowl was Baylor in? Weren't they in a New Year's Six?
New Year's Six bowl, yeah.
New Year's Six bowl. They got the number
Ole
one.
Miss.
I forgot. They beat Ole Miss. They got the number one basketball team. Their women, aren't they top 5 or?
I think so.
They're top 15, I believe.
Well, I mean, still, they're 3 main sports. They're top 15. I mean, they're just. There must be something down in the water in Waco.
So here, from my point of view, I mean, we're going back to football. Isn't Baylor a lot more likable after Bryles left? In my opinion.
You mean
I'll give it a couple
shot?
more years with Aranda. If you're going to go as Aranda better than Bryles, yes.
Once they stop
couldn't
sodomizing
stand
their
them when
players,
Bryles was there.
Yeah, it's going to take a few more wins to get over the sodomizing of players, like you said.
Yeah. I was not a huge fan of them.
So Iowa State, they enter a pretty tough week here tomorrow from when we're recording, not tomorrow from when the podcast comes out. We are recording on Tuesday. On Wednesday night, they play 25 Texas Tech. I see Iowa State is a 1-point favorite in that game right now. That game is at Hilton at 8 o'clock. It's on ESPNU. I know Bryant had a little rant about that last week when we played Baylor on ESPNU. Then we go to Oklahoma. Don't hear any slouch either. And then a week from tonight, so next Tuesday, as we will be recording, we'll be playing KU.
So you just mentioned a team in there that you're playing. I feel bad for them because they're going to Iowa State, playing KU, and then they're at Baylor for this next week. Texas Tech.
Oh, Texas
Tech.
Tech.
Oh man, because you were saying they played Texas Tech. I'm like, wait a second, KU's playing them on Saturday. Geez, that's a quick turnaround.
Well, the Big 12 is the only conference, and this is an odd number to end it at, but they're the only conference that have every team in the top 63 of the KenPom, which I know a lot of people, if you're looking at analytics or adjusted offense, defense, I mean, that's what you're looking at. I believe it's Kansas State is lowest at 63, and there's several other conferences where their lowest team is like 150, 200 in the Power 5.
So I saw that same stat, and you say in the top, Iowa State is the only team, the Big 12 is the only conference with every team in the top 63. I believe they're the only conference with every team in the top. It was like, I think the next one was like 114 or something like that. So that's, a big disparity between the conferences there.
So, I mean, that's where it's almost we could go, God, Kansas State is having a tough start to the league. It gets literally everyone playing everyone now. You're playing in the toughest conference right now. I know the SEC is top heavy, and so is probably the Big 10. I really haven't kept up too much, but I mean, just overall conference top to bottom, Big 12 right now is where it's at.
So I'm kind of wondering, is that Texas Tech? What's up with that game? Because normally Big 12's Tuesday, Saturdays games, I think.
No, I don't believe that's a reschedule.
No, I would say so. I guess with us playing Baylor on Saturday, I guess that opened it up where they could do a Tuesday and then isn't OU Saturday and then Kansas Monday.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess we just have that short schedule.
KU's Tuesday.
Well,
yeah. Yeah, the drink update here.
Let's hear it.
I joined Trent, going with the Bush.
Reliable. Reliable.
I had to get away from that crap.
Did you crack it open already? I didn't hear it.
Yeah. I put it right in the microphone. I didn't know.
Damn it.
I thought you heard it.
Well, you're just gonna have to finish that one fast so I hear the next one.
I caught it. I'm about ready to go get another one too, so I'll let you know, Bryant.
So if anybody wants some whiskey, I've got some whiskey that I can, pass on.
Yeah, just send it on my way.
Well, an open bottle of whiskey will be for the winner of the Bowl Mania.
Well, actually, I would say since I live closest to Steven and I did inherit a bottle of a whiskey. I think it's it's the bottom shelf. Maybe I'll get him the cash prize, and then he has to take the shitty bottle of whiskey away too.
Old crow. All right. Well, let's stay in the Big 12. Clark, any basketball teams from Kansas playing this week?
Yeah, KU just finished up their game. They took down Oklahoma State. Final score 74-63. They were in Stillwater for that game. Yeah, I had it on the TV here. It was looking pretty physical. They were fighting pretty hard there at the end, but just wasn't enough to keep it close there with the Jayhawks. And then Kansas State, they dropped one earlier tonight. They're playing number 14 Texas at home. Texas came in, beat them 70-57. A little rough there, but K-State, they're bringing up the end of that Big 12. They're still competitive with a lot of teams. They're 8-5. Even though they're at the bottom of the Big 12, that's still pretty respectable. And then looking in the American Conference, those Wichita State Shockers, they started conference play here this past week. They played Memphis. Memphis gave them the worst loss they have ever had in Koch Arena at Wichita State. That final score was 82-64. So pretty rough. Yeah.
That's only 18. That's only 18 points.
For that to be their worst loss ever at Koch Arena is pretty respectable, but still, I mean, it's not amazing. A number you like to see. So here coming over this weekend, they are going to Houston. They're playing number 12 Houston there. This weekend, K-State, they're traveling to West Virginia, and KU is going down to Lubbock to play those Red Raiders.
Sorry, Texas Tech, for your luck this week.
Yeah.
I say that, and then they'll probably come out and just punch Iowa State in the mouth and make it look easy or something.
Probably.
I should just shut my mouth, I guess.
But I mean, just looking at that luck too. I mean, they play in a tough conference, and you lost your coach interconference. I don't know if that was a year or 2 years ago, but I remember when hearing Chris Beard brings them to the Natty, and then he goes of all places to Texas. That just, that'd be, I guess, if a coach went from Iowa State to Iowa, just I couldn't imagine.
Dan Gable.
No, he was a student. I'm talking like coaching.
He was on the coaching staff for a year.
At Iowa State when.
He was an assistant under whoever they had at the time. God, that was years ago.
1983. I'm talking recent history, Joey.
I'm just bringing one up, man.
Yeah.
Every person on the Iowa State wrestling staff right now was at Iowa at one point.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't say that. That is a fact. I didn't know that Metcalf was there until the actual meet, but.
Mm-hmm. And Derek St. John and Dresser was a 2-time champion at Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we're not talking wrestling.
Wait. Are we Nebraska fans now talking about the 90s? What is this?
When we're talking coaches, you can, because some of them still been there. Isn't Bill Snyder still roaming K-State's sideline?
No, Iowa State putting into that a couple years ago.
Is he alive?
Bill Snyder, he's alive.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
I didn't know.
God, I was worried. He tweeted something. I think it was someone very close to the Kansas State program. And it was lady. Oh my goodness, I can't remember the tweet, but I thought it was like his wife had passed. But it was another big name in Kansas State's history, and I feel bad because I can't remember who it was. I had it.
I think you're talking about his old mistress Betty.
It wasn't Betty. It started with J, I think. I would say that's one thing I won't touch. As much as I always shit on Kansas State, I don't want to. That would be like if someone shit on Jack Trice or someone big at Iowa State.
Right.
I'm going to leave off that. I can shit on Bill Snyder. He beat us as many times as anyone has. So
wait, so biggest surprise of the night: Bill Snyder has Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're following him right now, guys.
Pulse of the Heartland. Follow Bill Snyder.
I wonder who his media manager is.
It's probably him.
Yeah.
No,
he just does it himself.
I don't believe that for a second.
I don't either, but that'd be hilarious.
The man
I think we should get him as our first
field
interview.
named after him. Of course, he runs his own Twitter account.
Holy shit, he's got a blue check mark and everything. Fuck
all the K-State hate that Bryant spews Bill Schneider's going to be our first interview.
There you go. So
what's
Bill
a
Schneider,
podcast?
what was that?
What's a podcast?
Yeah. Bill Schneider, what was it like to see the Model T invented? Was it pretty neat? Or I believe that was the first year you started at KU or KSU.
All right. Let's go to the Big Ten basketball.
There we go.
It was Joan Frederick, by the way, was who he tweeted about.
Yeah. Like I said, it sounds like she was big in the program. So rest in peace. I don't know anything about her, though. I thought it was his wife, though, for a second.
Well, yeah, I could see why he has 5 tweets about her. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him. Good for Joan. I mean, R.I.P. Joan. Sorry.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay, well, let's go to the Big Ten.
So Big Ten basketball.
Yeah.
Great transition, guys. We're
Like
such
how-
professionals.
Right in the middle of college basketball, we have Bill Schneider talk.
Oh,
I bet he was listening to Adele the whole time.
yeah. it was
Oh
just-
gosh.
Jesus.
Mhm.
All right.
And
So,
for love.
oh my God. Anyway, did Iowa play basketball this week, Joey? Or let's go to an Adele concert? I can't tell.
Well, rumor has it that
Yeah.
they beat Western Illinois and Maryland, and the Murrays are just lighting it up still. Keegan scored 35, and Iowa held off Maryland last night by 5 points. It was pretty back and forth. I had it on in the background while I was doing some things and would check out stuff here and there. And I mean, Maryland's a game Big Ten team. They're not gonna. I don't know if they'll make the tournament. They look like they could sneak in, but they look really good right now. And Iowa's 11-3 and also looks really good. So pretty impressed with that. They've got a big one coming up on Thursday against Wisconsin. I don't know if anyone saw Johnny Davis basically took down Purdue by himself. First player to beat a top 3 team and lead his team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks all in the same game. So, yeah. Since Timmy
did
Duncan,
anyone else do anything on the team, or Jesus Christ?
basically not. I don't know, but they still beat Purdue. So, yeah, good for them. Yeah, and then that's basically all I have. I mean, we'll just see how it plays out in the Big Ten this year. Like I said, big game against Wisconsin. Indiana's always game. Minnesota's tough. Rutgers, I'm not sure about. And then Penn State on the 22nd. Penn State is always pretty damn tough to play at Penn State. And I believe we split with them last year. They usually don't do too well on the road. But, yeah, looking forward to the Big Ten schedule and see what this Hawkeye team is really made of.
Looks like there's
Joey.
a matchup hovering around there in the Michigan area coming up here.
Mm-hmm.
Joey, I'm just glad we have someone like you to correspond for us.
Hello, it's me.
I thought we were going to try and be a little subtle about these. Jesus.
So yeah, number 10 Michigan State is at Michigan this week. That's what I was hinting at there before Joey had to go all Adele on us. But
I got way sidetracked. I'm sorry. And I haven't paid enough attention to the rest of the Big Ten yet because bowl season's been basically taking up all of my eye time that I can. And yeah, once the national championship and stuff's over, I'll definitely dive more into basketball. But yeah, the Big Ten just is full of good teams. I don't know if they're as top end heavy as the Big 12, especially with Baylor and Kansas up there. I do think Purdue's a really good team and could make some noise in the tournament. But yeah, I think overall the Big Ten up and down is, I'd say probably second best conference. I don't know. The SEC sneaking up there too. But it seems like every Big Ten team is pretty legit this year.
who's going to be your top 3 Big Ten teams?
Well, I'm probably going to put Purdue at the top. Let me pull those rankings back up. I'm probably going to go, Purdue, Michigan State. I don't know. I don't ever.
The third?
No, I don't. I think they're going to get beat up in the Big Ten, to be honest with you. I bet they're middle of the pack Big Ten team.
I think Purdue's getting beat up in the Big Ten right now. They're 1-2 in the conference, man.
I see their record is 12-1 at the moment.
They're 12-2. They just lost to Wisconsin.
They did just lose to Wisconsin. Yeah. Oh yeah, I just gave us an.
They lost to. Don't forget about that loss to Rutgers. The powerhouse they are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like Purdue as the best team out of the Big Ten, but I also think, like I said, up and down, I think they're a good conference. But yeah, I'll go Purdue, Ohio State, or Purdue, Michigan State, and maybe Wisconsin with Johnny Davis. He looks really good. I just don't ever trust an Ohio State team, even with like Greg Oden and Mike Conley. I just didn't trust them. So.
Oh, I think the only thing I know about Ohio State is fuck Aaron Kraft. That's the only thing Michael has to say about it.
Beautiful. I want to slow clap that. Yes.
I still remember how good of a mood I was in and how much that derailed my whole fucking weekend seeing that 3-pointer go in.
Oh, God damn it.
So
I hate that so much.
I will say Ohio State, their current big time win is over number 1 Duke. They are 3-0 in the Big Ten. They took down Penn State. They did beat Wisconsin, and then they, just beat that just absolute powerhouse of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So
right. It just always seems like Ohio State has these big wins at the beginning of the year, and then they just kind of fizzle out in Big Ten play, and then that carries over to their NCAA tournament. So I don't know. In conference play, like regular season, they might be the regular season champs. I don't trust them whatsoever in any of the tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, well, in Maryland, like you said, I don't know if they have any stars this year, but they're always one where it's just like you always think they're going to be middle of the pack, and then they all of a sudden, towards the end of the year, you see the year where they had like Melo Trimble, and you see all of these years where all of a sudden they just pull it out of their ass, and it's like, holy shit, they're in second place and they're competing for first place in the Big Ten,
Maryland has my favorite basketball player's name ever, Diamond Stone. God, I loved watching Maryland basketball when he was there.
I would say I think the only reason I liked Maryland that year because it was Melo Trimble, and he's named after my favorite player, Carmelo Anthony. Go Cuse.
Go Cuse.
So since Bryant was disappointed that he didn't get to hear Ryan's Busch Light open, are you ready, Bryant?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's hear it.
Busch.
Oh. Yeah, I would give that a 8 out of 10 opening of a can.
All right, well, good. That's 80%. That's passing.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else to add to the Big Ten, Joey?
Nope, that's it. I quit. I'm moving on.
Was that an Adele? Was that
It is.
Adele reference? What?
I just realized how few songs of Adele I know.
Did we set fire to the rain yet?
Oh,
don't you remember?
Now we're just rolling in the deep here.
I'll be waiting.
Joey's gonna keep saying all these fucking Adele songs till the sky falls, but it's all right. I didn't know.
Not if I keep getting bitching from someone like you.
That is a good song, though.
Already used that one. You can't use it again.
All right. Well, it's hiding my heart.
Well, try your heart out, Jesus.
Well,
on to SEC basketball.
Yeah, let's roll on to SEC basketball.
All I ask is for an update on SEC.
Thanks, Joey. So LSU is the best team in the SEC, obviously. Except they lost to Auburn. Well, they lost to Auburn, so I guess they aren't. But yeah, they started off terrible against Auburn and never could come back, and that's kind of the key. They need to start off strong, and if they do that, I think they can actually kind of keep up with anybody. They beat Kentucky, so that's a huge SEC win for them. Kentucky ranked 16th, and then they play number 18 Tennessee coming up on Saturday, and then elsewhere in the SEC, Alabama beat Tennessee. Alabama's 15, Tennessee's 18. So, yeah, the SEC is just kind of beating up on each other right now, and good for LSU to pull out a victory that's really meaningful.
Yeah, they're kind of always one of those teams. It seems like they're finally starting to crawl out of that middle of the pack and really starting to keep for the top end with Bama last year and Kentucky every freaking year, and yeah, I guess Florida off and on. But it's always kind of nice to see a different team, climb out of there.
One thing watching tonight's game is they were really throwing up threes tonight. So I know I said earlier in the season Alabama lives and dies by the three, but I don't know if LSU is going to try to keep doing that through SEC play or what, but they did throw up a lot of threes. They made quite a few, but I think the game was a lot closer than it needed to be if they would have tried to go in the paint a little bit more.
Well, I was shocked they were down, I think, at the beginning of the start of the second half. And then they actually crawled and got a pretty big lead. And usually that's when it's like, okay, Kentucky starts to turn it on and come back. But it was nice to see that they actually held off too.
Well, did you see the last minute and a half?
I missed it.
They were up by 6 or 8. I can't remember. I think 8.
Yeah.
And then Kentucky did come back within 1. Actually, they were within 1 with less than 26 seconds. And then LSU got a turnover and actually got 2 turnovers and won by 5.
Oh wow! I usually that's when it's just they're hitting their free throws and the other team isn't.
Nope. They good defense at the end to get the win.
Absolutely.
So you said LSU threw up a lot of threes. Kentucky actually shot more threes than LSU.
They were both throwing up threes. Like they didn't try to put it in the paint or anything. So yeah, we'll see what they do the whole season. But
there's 47 3-pointers shot in this game combined.
Yeah, it seemed like that's what almost every shot was, to be honest.
Yeah.
And Texas Bowl update: LSU just threw another interception. So
solid.
Well, you know, when you have a wide receiver passing, you're not going to expect the greatest passing results, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of like the whole Vikings thing. You can say what you want about the offense, but when you allow 28 points through 3 quarters, it's pretty tough to win games like that.
They need to run the ball more.
They need to run the ball more. That's exactly right.
Hey, he has thrown a touchdown. Give him some credit.
He had a very nice touchdown pass. I will give you that.
Yeah, but when you're down by that much, only throwing 1 touchdown, water under the bridge at this point.
Just padding his stats for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I really like this K-State player's name who's showing up under the highlight here on ESPN. Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce Vaughn. Ugh. According to PFF, the best running back in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Deuce.
Big old shit Vaughn. Yeah. Sorry, I'm sure he's a good kid, and we'll probably. I guess I know he's they always compare him to Darren Sproles because he's like 5'6". So I don't know. He's got as good. I mean, fucking wasn't that who was that? Jags. Maurice Jones-Drew. That was like 5'5", 5'6", and was running back.
MJD.
Yeah, that dude was like built like a bowling ball.
Yeah, like a fucking fire hydrant.
Yeah.
So, no, he's got as good a chance at anyone, dude. At that level, it's always insane where you think the Deuce Vaughn 5'6" won't make it, and then he has the big career like that. Who's that? Dion Lewis. He's kind of been a journeyman. Just
or Darren Sproles. Once he got to the NFL, he played for a bunch of different teams and played for like 12 or 13 years.
But he contributed on every team. That's
exactly.
Crazy. Sometimes you just go team to team and. Like Cordero Patterson, he's finally getting a home. Like he did well in the Vikings, kind of flaked around, and then he's got a home in
on the Vikings with special teams.
Well, can we blame it on him, or are we going to blame it on Zim? Because maybe he just didn't have the right guy.
I'm not going to go against that idea, Clark. That is, you're not going to hear objection from me. Remember, this is we're talking about the coach who hates rookies, and Justin Jefferson didn't play until the 3rd game. Same thing with Stephon Diggs. Diggs didn't play until like halfway through the season his rookie year.
So okay, yeah, I was thinking about that, and that is completely and totally stupid because you're drafting these players, you're paying them a crap load of money, and you're not gonna. I mean, they're good, or else you wouldn't have drafted them.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and you're going to sit them on the bench for the sole reason that they're a rookie. I mean, this isn't high school football where you don't play a freshman because you don't like freshmen. This is the NFL.
We spent a 1st-round pick on Cordero Patterson, who he was a fantastic special teams player for us, but that's all he was. And I get he wasn't the best route runner, but it seems like other teams have figured out what to do with him, whether he goes to running back or whatever.
Cornerback.
Yeah, he's in quarterback depth chart for Atlanta. So that tells me that Zim, gosh, I like Zim for so long, so I hate saying anything bad about him, but it just shows that he just gives up on players, if from what I can tell.
Yeah, no, I hate the whole I don't like you because you're a rookie, so you're not going to play. Well, if they're good enough, play them.
The only rookie that he's been good with, well, Anthony Barr. I guess there's a few. Anthony Barr, Teddy Bridgewater, and Dalvin Cook are the only three that he's been like, okay, I'm going to give him a shot immediately. But
Defense and a running back. His two favorite things.
well, Bridgewater was a quarterback until his leg fell off.
Yeah.
But and I like Teddy. Don't get me wrong, but he wasn't. He can manage the games and win games. I guess that's a big thing. He does have a good career record.
Well, let's jump into the NFL here and do everybody's favorite or least favorite segment. Let's do some locks of the week. I'm
Trent, is
3
it
and
your
6.
favorite segment?
What's that?
I said, Trent, is it your favorite segment?
No.
Oh,
Hey,
After
can I
last
give you some
week?
advice this week? Stay the fuck away from the Chiefs.
Yeah. Asshole.
After last week, I don't think it's anybody's favorite segment on the pod. So
no.
I think
Ryan.
Ryan thought it was fine.
Yeah, well, I don't understand why I'm being left out of this discussion. I'm enjoying it.
I call picking over unders candy ass. You got to pick a
Oh,
Ah.
Yeah.
it all stays the same. I don't want to hear it.
taking the easy way.
I mean, that's
out.
the second time Ryan's hit on an under. Are we gonna throw an asterisk next to his record now?
Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah,
what they
just-
say, Ryan?
What do they say?
Life's too short to bet the under.
Well, if it wins you money, then too bad. And good
Yeah,
for
true.
that.
I don't think it won you money. It just gave you
Right.
another win. But
If it gives me a win on a week that Bryant doesn't get a win, good for me.
Oh,
That's better than money.
you know what? I'm gonna be classy and not bring up my overall record of 8-1. Okay, I'm not gonna do that.
All right. Well, I'll bring up my overall record at 3 and 6. So that means I'm in last. So I go first. I am going to go with a big spread. I'm going to go the Titans 10.5-point favorite over the Houston Texans.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a big one.
The
You realize that the Texans beat them last time they were matched up, right?
I do. The Titans have something to play for this week. So, and that game is at the same time as the Chiefs game, I believe. So they won't.
False. Chiefs
Oh,
play on
Chiefs
Saturday.
3. Oh, they do. So the Titans will know the outcome of that game already. So still, give me the Titans 10.5.
All right, solid pick. I don't know. I would say it just depends on what Tannehill shows up, dude. I would say when he can get that AJ Brown involved, he's a.
Mm-hmm.
I would say has Julio done anything for him this year? Or is he kind of
No.
taken?
No.
No.
Yeah.
He's collected a check. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Honestly, but he's the type of guy where if someone goes down or if that AJ Brown goes down, maybe he can just immediately fill in for the one playoff guy or a playoff game you need him. You know, I'm never going to doubt Julio after seeing how many years he dominated on those Falcons teams.
Right. Yeah. It's hard to go against anything that Julio does because he just makes spectacular catches. He's been injured a lot this year, and he also, I don't know, Tannehill hasn't looked great throwing to his receivers yet. So if they get that cleared up, I think Julio could be an impact player. But otherwise, yeah, it's Hollywood Brown's team for sure as far as receiver goes.
Isn't
AJ Brown.
Hollywood
the
Brown
AJ guy?
is.
AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hollywood's of the Ravens. Sorry,
Yeah.
my bad.
So, Joey, you are next. I need you to pick a dud, please. That
I'm gonna
way,
s-
I'm not so lonely at the bottom.
I'm going to stick with America's favorite and my most impressive team in the league.
The
and
Vikings?
Go with Big Throw Joe and pick the Bengals to cover the -3 over the Browns.
Who
Browns
the hell
got nothing
said
to
they're
play for.
America's favorite?
I did. Ryan did.
I totally
Joe-
thought you were going to go with the Cowboys.
So did I.
Jesus.
Joe Burrow is definitely America's sweetheart right now.
I mean, if anyone listened to the last podcast, Bryant went off about how the media is sucking his dick, and
Mhm.
I
And now
will.
Joey is too.
I will give him that
Agree
Gluck
with you
Gluck
guys on his
3000
balls over there.
I'll give him that Gluck Gluck 3000 with the tickle on the taint. And yeah, I'll go with the Cincinnati Bengals -3.
At Browns, not a bad bet, dude. They still got something to play for, and
Mhm.
I don't even know if the Browns are going to start. I think Baker's out this week.
Baker's
too.
having surgery,
done.
so he is
He's
done.
done. And
Fucking
rumor
goddamn
is
pick, dude.
that Garrett and Clowney may sit out too. Just rest up because I don't have anything else.
Clowney's been sitting out all year, so
Yeah, that's
what's
true.
the matter?
And the Bengals can still get the number 1 seed if they win, and the Titans, Chiefs, and Patriots lose, or the Bills win plus Titans and Chiefs lose. So, I mean, there's an outside chance, but I don't think it'll happen.
I've seen crazier stuff happen, dude. I wouldn't. They've got everything to play for at this point.
Yep. So I think that the Bengals go out and shit stomp them and try to keep the momentum going that they've got. So that's mine.
All right. Next up's Clark at 5-4.
Yeah, I am 5-4. It pains me because I want to take my team, but I feel like it's enough nerves trying to watch the Chiefs here on Saturday and just knowing what's at stake. I really hoping that they can pull out a win and Tennessee will fall to them Texans twice in the same year. So I'm not going to bet on that game. I'm going to take actually another hopeful here. I'm going to take the Raiders +3. They are playing at home against the Chargers.
The Super Bowl bound Chargers. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Those two both those teams still have a shot. So I'm going to take the Chargers at home.
Hold on, the Chargers or the Raiders?
The Raiders.
So, okay.
I'm taking the Raiders at home.
Are you trying to pull that little trick of saying both teams and then next week you say, well, I'm the first one?
I don't know why you don't know who the Ragers are.
Yeah.
The Ragers. Why is there not an NFL team called that? That's great.
I know.
Speaking of which, Washington football team, they're going to announce their team name pretty soon. I've been hearing they're potentially going to go by the Washington Groundhogs.
They're announcing it on Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, on Groundhog's Day, there's a patent for the Washington Groundhogs. I don't know.
Jesus.
Like of all the potential names that were out there, American history, anything. And if they go with the Groundhogs, seriously, like
I don't know how they aren't doing the Red Wolves. The Red Wolves is
Wolves would
amazing.
be awesome. I saw that the Presidents are also another one. I would much rather have the Groundhogs than the Presidents.
Yeah. I would too, but I feel like there's just so many other potential names out there.
The Washington Ragers.
So do you have,
come on.
So then do you have Coxatawny Phil as your mascot then if you're the Groundhogs? Maybe Bill Murray. Is Bill Murray your mascot?
That's the only way this can have a silver lining is if Bill Murray is involved in any sort of fashion.
I think we can solve a couple things, here with the Washington football team. I propose that every 4 years during the election, to get more people to vote, you get a vote on the new Washington football team name. And then it changes every 4 years. It boosts sales. People are actually interested in the Washington football team. I think it's just a win-win. Just change their name every 4 years. Who cares at this point?
Yep, right? I agree.
Look, we fixed the college football playoff. We fixed the Washington football team name. I
think that one starts with fucking getting Schneider out of there. They don't even have stands that can hold fans in there without.
Yeah, they tried to kill Jalen Hurts.
Did you see the Jalen Hurts' statement on that whole thing?
Mm-mm.
Yep.
What did he say?
He posted a letter to the NFL and to the just to have them hold accountable and to right the situation because those people that fell possibly have lingering injuries, and to take the right measures to make sure it doesn't happen in the future.
But I mean, also the one thing that sticks out to me as well, like first off, player safety over there. That's where
no joke.
Or RG3
if he had been a
tremendous knee injury. I mean,
if he had been a couple steps ahead, you're looking at a knee injury.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, just as well on top of that, I mean, if I don't know, man, like if you're not even it was going to be that the fans that fell down, the team didn't even escort them to a medical tent to make sure the fans are fine. They just kind of let them walk off. Like, what kind of team sees that happen? And there are 50,000 cameras everywhere at this event. Why wouldn't you not like try and do one thing right as an organization and be like, hey, let's make sure we're medically taking care of all these people and make sure they're all right, because that's what is going to be shown from this game. Also, that we lost, so we're a failing franchise there too. I don't know. Something's got to change. I think you got to get Snyder out of there. He just doesn't give a shit.
But did they fall into the same area where Patrick or Jackson Mahomes was doing his TikTok? Because that's probably why they didn't.
Yeah, straight on the numbers.
Yeah,
Just
exactly. Did they fall on Sean Taylor?
Yeah, no, that's a little farther down the field, Joey.
Okay.
All right, Ryan is next up at 6-3. What is your pick?
I am going to go with the Saints at -4.5. They got something to play for, and I don't think the Falcons are good.
Whoa,
Joey.
Oof.
Joey.
I agree.
Oh, that was boring. I was hoping you were going to be super offended. Come on, we need content.
All right, yeah, Falcons are gonna beat the Aints. Fuck New Orleans. Nola can suck it.
I agree with that. But this is me trying to get my record better.
That's the Joey we all know and love.
It might be Matt Ryan's last game as a Falcon. I bet he goes out throwing 5 touchdowns to Kyle Pitts, who's gonna show up and show out as the best tight end in the league. And yeah, go Dirty Birds.
He's got a long ways to go for best tight end in the league. Okay,
Yeah.
He is the best rookie tight end, that's for sure.
Is there going to be?
Is there another rookie tight end?
I don't know, maybe not. But he's going to be a stud. And I was actually watching Red Zone over at my brother's while we were watching the Chiefs game, and they kept showing the Falcons, and Kyle Pitts caught a few balls and looked pretty damn good. And I'm wearing my Calvin Ridley jersey that I just bought this year. I'm like, I wish they would do like a jersey exchange. Like, can I send this back? Because I'm pretty sure they're going to cut Calvin Ridley, and I would love to have a Kyle Pitts jersey. I wish I would have bought the other one, but I don't buy rookie jerseys because you never know how it's going to pan out. So, yeah, I'm going to have to buy a Kyle Pitts jersey next year. So that's fucking cool.
Yeah,
So why are they going to cut Calvin Ridley?
He hasn't played since like mid-September because of mental health issues, and he doesn't know if he's ever going to play football again.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty solid reason to cut the guy.
Yeah, I mean, if retirement and stuff, and he's only in his like third or fourth year, I mean, I don't dislike the guy, and I think if he has issues, get those figured out. Like, that's way more important than. But
it's better that he takes care of him this way than the Antonio Brown route.
Yeah, being Antonio Brown in 9 years.
Yeah, exactly. And I think so. They talked about even if they don't cut him, that he could go on their like. It's not an IR for the offseason, but like you're holding the rights to the player still. So if he does come back, I mean, he is a special talent. And I hope he does. I hope he comes back to the Falcons and plays like he has. So I think that they'll hold on to his contract, but I don't know. He may not ever play again. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, next up is the big loser from last week.
Oh,
The biggest loser.
I missed like 2 points. Oh yeah, well I have to take it. It's the first time you've been able to make fun of me, but no, unfortunately I gotta go boring. And again, it's it was the team that we said I should have been locked on the whole season, but I gotta take Kansas City -10 versus Denver. I think this is I guess it kind of depends on with COVID and if they're just going to give up on the 1 seed, which I don't know why you ever would. I mean, I think the Chiefs and the Titans both needed the most out of any team right now because they're not playing the best. So I don't know. I think the Chiefs, it's kind of one of those get right games before the playoffs, just beat up on, pretty good Denver team. I think they're 7-9 right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I don't like this game is because of that big spread of 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little much for me to swallow as far as taking the Chiefs.
That just means I'm a bigger Kansas City Chiefs fan than you, Clark. That's it.
Well, okay.
I'm to the point of
you have more Jackson Mahomes quotes than I do. I guess.
Yeah. Someone on this podcast has to keep track of his TikToks. That was
I
one
know.
thing that pissed me off as well. After that game, no shit, within 30 minutes, first off, I had to see all the hate on Twitter about the refs, and I'm not going to go back on that. But in the back of my mind, I go, was he at that game? And no joke, he uploaded about 4 hours before that, which means he was at the game. And I was like, why don't you check this before the game, Brian? If Jackson Mahomes there, they're not going to cover. They're going to play like shit. So all comes down to Jackson.
Is he allowed at Arrowhead during the playoffs?
God, I hope not. Just go anywhere else, man. Like I'm always the superstitious type of guy too. So, well, I would say the one thing that did happen as well was, and I didn't want to bring it up, but being superstitious, I had never bet on my games until I was 8-0. I go, you know what? I'm going to trust myself this week, and then fucking look what happens.
You should have let me go bet on it.
Yeah, I should have.
Yeah, works.
But
I know
don't fade my Chiefs, please.
I texted you guys, this was yesterday, or maybe today, but with the Chiefs, it just seems like they coast through the season, and then when it comes to playoffs, that's when they really turn it on.
Mhm.
And they've even in the past, even in the playoffs, they've coasted the first half, and then the second half they make 20-point comebacks, no problem. So I still, I think I had the Bills as the AFC representative for the Super Bowl.
Can confirm that is correct.
Yeah.
But it's super hard. I'll still stand by that, but it's super hard to go against Kansas City.
Yeah. I don't know. The only thing that worries me, like I believe they're going to kick it on. I think Andy Reid's got his people and he knows how to do it. But what worries me is we've beat every team that we should have this year, but we've lost to every team that we're going to face in the playoffs. Like I'm going down the list. Their 5 losses are a very close loss to the Ravens, which, if Lamar Jackson doesn't get injured, they're immediately in. And are they still technically in the playoff picture?
Yeah, they're not eliminated yet.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
they're
they're
not
in the
eliminated, so
picture.
technically still could be a playoff team. Chargers, which is still in the hunt, which is the current 7 seed. The Bills, which are the 3 seed, right? The 4
4.
seed.
To go back to the Ravens though, that was right at the beginning of the season. I wouldn't put anything on that.
It's still though, man, it doesn't look good when, like with the Bills, just at Titans and then at Bengals. So you've lost to almost every playoff team, and we did beat the one team that we did beat in the playoffs was a Rodgerless Packers. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I always got to go rah my team, but
I've never heard you doubt your
beat
team before.
the Broncos by like 24, and I'll start feeling really good about them, I guess.
So
This is a Brian I've never heard before.
I can be realistic. I gotta ham it up for the folks that are listening, but yeah, we've lost every
this
team
past weekend. If Team Stripes hadn't come through for the Bengals, I think the Chiefs would have looked like a clear favorite.
Yeah.
For that AFC side, they're running the ball great. Their defense is physical, maybe too physical for some Stripes out there, but I think that flies in the playoffs. They let more of that go.
You know what?
So
it worries me because right now they're projected to play the Chargers in the first round. That's almost of all teams the one I wouldn't want to face right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's right. They're my Super Bowl pick.
Oh, never mind. We're good.
Go Bolts.
Yeah, we're good. That's about a 50-point win right there.
By team stripes, did you mean the Bengals with the stripes on their helmets? I think that's what you meant, right?
Yeah, or orange and black stripes and the white and black stripes.
Yeah,
sorry.
they're all stripes, Joey.
Big game, Joe.
Bengal Tigers, and what's the other Tigers? I don't remember. The Snow Tigers.
Zebra Tigers. All right, well, let's move on to golf.
Oh, hold on. I got one thing. I can't believe no one didn't pick the Dolphins, since we had that stat where they're 8-0 against teams that have a quarterback with an O in their last name, and they're playing Mac Jones.
Dolphins are going to win.
I think it is a home game as well for the Dolphins.
I mean, that's
see if they can cap it off.
The bye week last year, wasn't it? The Dolphins beating the Pats late in the season.
Yep.
So the Pats, they've already made the playoffs. They've locked that in. They're the current, they're in the wild card. So I think it just depends on which team they're playing in the wild card. Do they have a lot to play for this weekend? They're going to let it go? Who knows?
Yep, they've got a 5% chance of winning their division, but it's going to take the Bills to lose and them to beat the Dolphins and some other stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I just like that stat that Bryant sent us, and I'm surprised none of us took it. That's good,
Last
though.
names only, by the way,
Okay.
because Josh does have an O in it.
Yep.
Right. I'm pretty sure I
Yeah.
said last name.
It
Maybe
is,
I stumbled through
last
that.
names only.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who sits there and looks at that crap and figures that out?
Crazy.
I don't
Dolphin
have the
fans.
imagination to think of something like that.
Yeah. I don't either.
Mm-mm.
It was like the Ben Roethlisberger after the Spider-Man release.
Yeah.
Stat.
Wait.
Like who seriously sits there and thinks about that stuff?
Nobody.
Pop
Nobody.
ultra people. Like you
For-
said, it's crazy to think that now that you're realizing it, he's been playing for 18 years, and with No Way Home and going all the way back to like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I mean, that's what, 20 years. So I mean,
Right.
it's. I think that's where we just need to start getting more creative and come up with those stats on this podcast.
Yeah.
But it's like, who sits there and thinks of that and then actually goes up and looks it up, and then they're like, oh, it did happen.
You're going to have to fire my dementia ass if that's the way this is going to go.
It's like Jordan Bohannon playing for under 3 different presidential candidates with Obama, Trump, and Biden now.
Yeah.
The boys from the Heartland will be right back.
All right, well, let's transition to golf now, since none of us did pick the Dolphins on that stat.
You're welcome.
Yeah. There's a tournament this week. The Tournament of Champions in Kapalua will be going on this weekend. I do like that tournament. It's everybody that has won in the last year gets in. It's always a fun one to watch. That one, like the wind coming off the ocean, like seems to just wreak havoc, and it just proves it how good of wind players that these guys are. Playing in Kansas the last 10 years proved how bad of a wind player I am.
There's no win in Kansas. What are you talking about?
No.
Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about that. I know that's how they start the season every year at Kapalua. So I guess golf is officially back. That's positive.
So they've kicked off the 2022 season here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 2022 season actually starts like in November.
Yeah, with the fall series, but nobody
Okay.
really. None of the big names really play in those tournaments. Actually, a lot of the big names play in the European events during that time.
Yeah, so this will be the first of the calendar year.
Yes. The big thing, I guess, this week was the announcement of the Player Impact Program. Who won that? Which was Phil Mickelson. And what that is, it's a $40 million purse that gets handed out to 10 of the pros on the PGA. They go by 5 different criterias. There's Google searches, there's global media exposure, social media reach, broadcast exposure, and then just the familiarity and how well people like that person. Phil makes a lot of sense since he won the PGA Championship this year, and if you don't follow him on social media, he's a pretty damn funny guy, actually. So he makes a lot of sense. This second place was Tiger Woods, which is crazy to me because after his accident, he maybe had a handful of social media things and didn't play a tournament until, right before Christmas time. But then I go on his Instagram, and the video that he posted, oh shit, how long ago was it? November 30th, it looks like, had 3.9 million views on it. So,
Was that the one of him just swinging?
Yeah, just swinging an iron. That's all.
A 3-second video.
That's all it was, and it got 3.9. So that really shows how important Tiger is to the sport of golf.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have listed who the rest of the top 10 is. I can only assume DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka were 2 of them, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm actually looking for that, and I cannot find a list.
Yeah, the only reason I know this is because of Phil posting it, and then somebody mentioning Tiger was second. But
yeah, I cannot find the list on this. But it was like the top 10 get this money. And if I remember right, this thing that I was reading, I think 11 was like Colin Morikawa. So he didn't get anything, first man out. And that dude wins a major this year.
I don't know what his social media exposure is. I guess I don't follow him on anything.
I don't know.
I just know with the whole DeChambeau versus Brooks thing, that was probably part of, they probably got paid from that. I can assume Max Homa, since he's got a huge social media following, and does a lot of interaction. I can only assume he's one of them. I have no clue who the rest would be.
I've been looking, and I don't. Usually,
I can't.
This feels like baseball. Like they just announce it at a weird time, and they don't tell you everyone. Like this is an age of information. How do we not have the top 10 here?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I remember right, it was Colin Morikawa that was like the first man out. I'm like, man,
yeah,
how good he was this year.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'd be curious to see who the top 10 was. I would assume Rory's.
Sounds to me like he could use a social media manager.
That's right.
Maybe he jumps on a podcast or something. I don't know.
There you go.
Right?
He's going to get dozens of more followers if he listens to us. Come on.
You think 3 million views on Tiger's video is good? Just wait till you come on Pulse of the Heartland.
That's right.
That's only slightly more than Joey's barbecue ones, smoking ones.
I say we do a live pod from a golf course somewhere when he just tells us how shitty Trent's swing is.
No, that's Max Homa that will do that.
Oh shoot! That
we'll go out here to sunny Brandon golf course, and we'll get that done.
Hey, I love Brandon Golf Course.
I mean, it's only like 20 below wind chill right now up here. I paid for my membership the other day, and I can't even use it until probably like April. Whatever.
Yeah,
I think Torres just golfed on Friday down here at Sand Creek. Do you miss it yet?
No, he did, because him and Vicente freaking called me as they were playing, and it was literally like 25 below chill as they called me.
Oh, good grief!
Yeah, it was brutal. Jesus. So, anything else to add to golf, Ryan?
Nope, I got nothing.
All right, well, let's go on to esports.
So, kicking it back a little bit to a little bit more relaxing feel. So, my wife got me this game for my birthday, and it's one of those that I can just sit back and enjoy the simplicity of it. It's called Farming Simulator 2022. I know Ryan has checked out some of the Farming Simulator in the past.
Oh, yeah.
So they took a year longer in development this time, and they updated it for the next gen. They made a lot of good improvements on their game engine and stuff like that. They added like the manual shifting and stuff like that to the tractors, and it just sounds good. Like when your tractor is pulling something with weight, you can actually hear it struggling to pull that load. I don't know. I feel like it was time well spent with the details they added to that game. But it's one of those games where I can just sit back and plant a field. And for somebody who grew up on a farm in agriculture, that was part of my life. And then as I grew up, went to college, my parents were like, go do something with your life. Don't end up like us, and they kind of ushered me towards, getting into healthcare. Like sometimes I look back and I'm like, I miss the farm. Mm-hmm. So it's a good way for me to, just to go back to that.
All right, Clark, are you one of them when you go back home and you smell the hog confinements, you just take a big old whiff and go, smells like money? Are you that
hell yeah.
Guy? Yeah.
So I grew up on a dairy farm. That was my childhood. Like I had to feed bottle calves. That was my chore from about the time I was kindergarten through, middle school. I had to take care of the bottle calves. So whenever I smell a dairy farm or cow lot, it's just like, oh, yeah, there's that good smell. Like, where's this been? Like, you don't notice it when you're growing up, but when you don't have it around for a long time, it's something that you're like, oh man, all those memories come rushing back.
Now, I worked on a hog confinement for about 3.5, 4 years during high school just to earn my money. And I don't know about you, but with as ornery and as shitty as the work is, I feel a little bit better on every hamburger that I get bacon on, or every pork chop that I eat. Because everyone thinks they're cute, and I'm sure those pot-belly pigs or the little ones that people have on Instagram and stuff are cool, but I mean, pigs are assholes. I'm sorry. There's no way about it, and I never feel bad eating bacon.
So, like, we didn't go to, growing a meat carcass until I was in high school when we switched from dairy to beef. So I didn't develop that hate for beef whenever I can eat a steak and be like, oh yeah, this is the best thing ever because I hate that cow. Like, nah, that wasn't a thing. Like, growing up, if we needed milk, we would go out and dip it out of the tank, like, and just take the milk to the house, put it in the refrigerator. Like, that was how I grew up. So, drinking pasteurized milk is still weird to me, but
you like it straight from the teat. We get it.
That's right. You got the heavy cream on there. Like, you got everything you need. So, yeah, I mean, it's a little weird, but, I still enjoy agriculture and just the feelings it gives me. So it's something I can sit down and I can just go cultivate a field, plant a field, harvest, feed cows, all that good stuff.
Is it something beginner friendly? Like, if someone that did not have agriculture background, they can jump right into?
Yeah, it's a great thing to jump into. It has a whole tutorial section that you can read through or play through. Like, I think if you start a map, it'll give you a tutorial option where it's like, hey, do you want us to show you how to do this? It'll tell you how to, go cultivate a field, plant a field, harvest, all the essentials. There are some more details in the game as far as optimizing yields and stuff like that you can get into, but it is very beginner friendly in that regard.
Okay. And these simulator type games are just super relaxing where, I mean, I play a lot of Call of Duty if I do get time to play Xbox, and that just gets frustrating. But you throw on a farming simulator, or also newer is it's so easy to make fun of, but lawn mowing simulator. You just go out there, mow a little grass, and it's like, I'm sitting here watching the snow come down, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna hop on a mower and mow some grass.
I personally have yet to check that game out. Have you checked it out?
I checked out the demo. I mean, it's not great, but it's still real. It's still along the lines of farming simulator where it's just like, okay, this is relaxing.
That's hilarious. Like, I've done the farming simulator. I have a game on my PC called American Truck Simulator where literally you drive a semi. It's extremely high detailed for what it is, and it's crazy to me that
Sim Farm way back in the days.
I started Sim Farm back in 2013.
Oh, geez, I need to look up when it came out.
I think their first game might have been 2011, 2013.
1993.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it goes back that far.
Yeah, so Ethan and I would always play Sim Farm. And like I loved Sim Farm, and I would try to make my own little rodeos with the cows and stuff like that. That was probably my favorite sim game ever.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's come a long ways as far as what it was then to what it is now. So I'm excited. It is a game that does allow modding, so people can make different pieces of equipment, different ways for the game environment to develop. So like last year, there was a mod called Seasons. You download this packet to the game and somebody added seasons. So you have spring, summer, winter, fall, all that cycling every year. And, based off of what geography pack you had downloaded, you might get a little bit longer winter or longer spring and different, crop cycles. So they allow things like that to kind of come out throughout the year. This game did just come out in November, so there's not a lot of mods out yet, but I'm excited to see where this goes. This year's iteration of Farming Simulator does have that seasonal cycle, that yearly cycle. So they actually have January through December built in the base game. So I'm really curious to see where this one goes.
Absolutely. Well, that's good to hear that it's, like you said, it is beginner friendly. So if anyone, was listening to this, that's always my biggest fear is like, I don't want to spend $60 on something that's very technically based or wouldn't teach you, you just have to know it or play the previous games. But
I agree with you. I mean, if it was me and I was suggesting somebody, I would say, hey, catch it on a sale. It's worth trying out. One thing to watch, though, is they do have a season pass with this one. Their season pass is going to have 4 big updates throughout the year. The 4th one being a new map to the base game. Mind you, modders do put out maps and stuff like that for you to play on. But yeah, I don't say it's $100 for the game and season pass. So a little bit big pill to swallow there if you want to get all that, but I wouldn't do it myself. I was holding off till sale, but my wife got it for my birthday, so I got lucky.
Well, all I need is a wife then to buy it for me.
You better work on that, Brian. I think you got
We've
some
got such a big outreach
wives
now. I don't know
grandkids.
why this isn't happening right now.
Do you know what costs more than the game? Is getting a wife.
So along those esports, though, I did get to experience a little bit of Christmas noobs this past, actually yesterday. So Monday, on Monday, a little bit farming simulator. And then my nephew, he messaged me. He's like, hey, do you want to play Vanguard? So I jumped onto Vanguard with my nephew. He did get the game for Christmas, so I will consider him that noob. Playing with him, I was at the top 3 spots of the leaderboard every match. So
yeah, I played a bit this weekend too, and it was the same situation. It's a pretty nice thing.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? Christmas noobs, cheers all around.
You appreciate them greatly.
That's right.
Anything else to add to esports?
If you feel like relaxing, check out some Farming Simulator.
All right. Let's move on to the movie minute.
Nice.
It's gonna be longer than a minute.
So this is a new segment. It's going to be way longer than a minute, but I feel like it's going to grow a lot.
It sounds
That's what
good.
she said. That's what she said.
Yeah.
This is going to be Trent's most active part too.
It's a grower. Watch out.
I'm time to go walk the dog, do some laundry.
Trent's as
I
much
might
of
go
a
to
movie
bed.
guru as Zim is a defensive guru.
I might go to bed. Yeah.
So I'll lead it off then, since Trent's just gonna step out for a smoke here. Gonna grab himself a dart.
Go light up a Deadwood Tobacco Company, Sweet Jane.
A new show just debuted this past week. The Book of Boba Fett. Anybody watch it?
Yep.
Yes,
I
sir.
did, yes.
All
Trent?
right.
Are you asking if I watched? Okay, here we go. Boba Fett is Star Wars, right?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, I'm 1 for 1. I have never watched 1 minute of any Star Wars movie or related spin-off ever.
Awesome.
All right.
A cumulative or just in a row?
Ever.
Because when you come here this weekend, I'm gonna have Star Wars on 24/7, buddy.
That doesn't mean I'm watching it.
Plug your ears. La 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 la.
Well, I mean,
la,
if
la.
I'm paying attention to something else. But yeah, I've never, not 1 minute. I've never seen it.
Okay.
Trent,
So
I can't give you too much shit. I didn't watch any of it until about 5-6 years ago, when my brother and TJ were watching it, and I just sat down and they're like, "We're starting this from the beginning," and dude, it's fucking awesome. You should just jump in and try it.
If I were to start Star Wars from the beginning and watch everything in order until this, how many hours am I looking at?
I mean, it's just one afternoon in the recliner. It's not more than you usually do. So
Probably less than what Katrina did with Witcher. So.
No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about like all the movies from the beginning.
the movies,
I'm not, like if I want to
there's
get
only
caught up.
24, maybe that's
there's
maybe
only 7 or 8 of them. If you're
Yeah, I
counting
mean,
Solo
there's
and-
nine.
there's 9, and then you have the standalones
yeah,
with
yeah,
Rogue
yeah.
One and
So
whatever.
11, 11 movies.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at
24 to 30
25
hours.
to 30 hours.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So
I would
with this
suggest
Boba,
starting with Rogue One.
yeah, with this Boba Fett thing, can I start since I
Go
am
ahead.
probably besides Trent, I'm probably the most casual Star Wars person here. I can back that up by saying Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie, and The Mandalorian is my favorite Star Wars thing. So I don't, number one, I don't know a whole lot about Boba Fett in the movies or wherever his origin is. Is he a geriatric like he is in this?
No.
You never see his face, don't you?
Yeah.
It's
So
prequels.
he's played by a 61-year-old, and you can kind of, and there's I'm not going anything against this. I love I love the geriatrics.
Sure, sounds like it.
Yeah, I'm not anti-geriatric, but you could tell the fighting scenes were a little slow when he was in them. So that was, I guess, one little complaint, and the other one is I just don't know the character that well, so it was a little slow. The Mandalorian, like I said, is my favorite Star Wars entertainment, and that gripped me from day one, and I thought it was just 2 seasons of brilliant television.
Hmm.
So as far as the geriatric thing, I think the Book of Fett or Boba Fett is picking up after he has kind of recovered from something, so he's still feeling it a little bit. So he's not real
he
into
was
the
in that
fighting,
bubble
because I
bath
feel
all
like
that time.
because in season 2 of Mando, he got after it a lot more. It wasn't so
Yeah.
slow for him. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking this is just kind of showing him that he's still a little fragile at the moment, still recovering. So I think there's more to come.
Well, he beat the shit out of that Machamp looking motherfucker. I mean,
true.
he beat him up. What else did I have on there? Oh, this is kind of like away from Boba Fett as well, but so they do. I don't know if from the originals they have the Cantina song. Didn't that? It wasn't Cantina song, but it kind of sounds similar, didn't it?
Yeah.
So I've just weird things that you find on the internet. Do you know what jazz in Star Wars is called?
No.
It's called
Jizz.
jizz.
Yes.
Like if you're George Lucas and you have this imagination of you're coming up with lightsabers and speed of light travel and you come up and all of these characters, by the way, I think it's called like Wikipedia. You can look up every Star Wars character and there's a fucking novel on the smallest character and all these details. And you're telling me that George Lucas couldn't come up with a better word than jizz for their music on Star Wars? I mean, you could call it space jazz, and he just decided to call the music jizz. There's a band called like the Jizz Whalers, and I've never been able to get over that.
He also
That
thought
is
Jar Jar
awesome.
Binks was a good character too, though.
Right.
Have you? Well, there's a lot of theories that he was supposed to be Sith because of his yellow eyes. I've read that too.
I have not. Like I said, I'm very casual. I have not dug that deep into that.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of people that are way more creative than probably the writers of Star Wars, where it's this big lore of Jar Jar Binks was actually supposed to be the big bad of the last episode 3 of the prequels.
Well, so here's the thing. I watched episodes 7. I've seen 3 through 6. I thought 7 and 8 were terrible, and I never watched 9. So
9 was a lot of fan service, I felt.
Was it?
Whereas I feel like
in
they were trying to make up for the prior to not being very good and just giving fans what they wanted.
And like I said, Rogue One's my favorite. What was the other standalone one? I can't think of it right now.
Solo.
Yeah, that one wasn't bad.
I like Solo.
I thought 7 and 8 were terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. Never really been a big fan of the new trilogy.
Yeah.
Just
and that's why I didn't watch 9.
Hard to grasp. I loved Rogue One and
so good.
How that story developed. Just the way it ends with Darth Vader. I'm a huge fan of Darth Vader, so I'm really looking forward to the Obi-Wan series that's slated to come out this year.
And it had the same type of ending for The Mandalorian, which was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it. I would say if anyone hasn't watched Mando, that's got to be one of the most rewarding finales.
It's so good.
Fantastic. I mean, where can they go with Mando season 3? I'm kind of curious, but
They are doing a season 3, right? For sure.
Yeah.
Has that been
Yep.
confirmed? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not a huge sci-fi person, but Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2 are one of my favorite series of television. Just so good. And
Go ahead. Sorry, bud.
I was just gonna say, John Favreau he seems to know how to do things right. So
And-
if you want to make a series good, get Favreau on it. And what's kind of cool is he gets a bunch of different people like Robert Rodriguez and Bryce Dallas Howard doing directing for episodes. It's pretty cool how he does all this.
So actually, along those lines, I think you were saying Patton Oswalt was involved in the writing of episode 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of that goes into it. And I feel like if you just look at Favreau's work throughout all of the shows he's been a part of in the Marvel and Star Wars universes, even if that first episode of Boba Fett didn't hit, the next season, the next episode, or the one after that's probably going to be just amazing. So I'm looking forward to what's come.
The one thing I was going to mention, if people haven't, I think a lot of people, if you have been keeping up with anything Star Wars or any of these shows like Patton Oswalt, if you're a big nerd kind of like I am, it is amazing hearing someone who's an even bigger nerd. It was on a Parks and Rec blooper. They told him just to, hey, you have to filibuster in this scene. And he does 9 minutes of basically what Disney is now with with crossovers from every universe, Star Wars, Marvel, and I can't remember all what it is, but it's like 9 minutes of the just nerdiest nerd going off. And he gets like a standing ovation at the end because people are like, how the hell do you even come up with this shit off of, probably not off the top of his head, but, just being that creative. It's definitely worth a watch, about 9 minutes.
It's super, super entertaining too. Like I remember when that episode aired live, and I'm like, wait, is he just doing this by memory? And Patton Oswalt, he has to be. So yeah, it's fucking entertaining as hell.
Absolutely.
Texas Bowl update: K-State wins 42-20.
Woo!
There we go. Well, they Kansas State covered, and I won my bet, so I'm feeling pretty good. I apologize for your Tigers, though.
Well, when you don't have any of your starters playing, you're gonna have that.
Go Kansas, gay team.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a movie somebody saw. I have no idea what it is because I didn't watch it, but
so it is the new Taylor Sheridan movie called Don't Look Up. No, it's Adam McKay. Sorry, I'm stuck on Taylor Sheridan because I'm watching a bunch of his series right now. It's on Netflix, starring Jonah Hill, Leo, Jennifer Lawrence, a lot of big names in it.
Meryl
Streep, yeah. There's quite a few big names. There's a lot of mixed reviews out there.
Is this the one that Ryan said was terrible and he couldn't finish last week?
No, we finished it, but it sucked.
Oh.
It was awful.
Yeah, he called it a heaping turd. I also did not really care for it. It's not one I'm going to rewatch, but I didn't hate it as much as him. I love Adam McKay's projects, and this is one of his bad ones. And he's very, very good at hit or miss for me. So overall, I would, if we're going ratings out of 10, I'd probably give it a 4.5.
Like, this doesn't spoil anything on it, but like you could tell where he was trying to pull the magic from The Big Short, where it was like, hey, we're going to explain the housing crisis. Here's a hot chick, except it would be like they try and somewhat explain something, but then it was just like, yeah, here's a random Ariana Grande, throwing her in there. They just they tried to do like two jokes where they threw the like definition or like this actually did happen like on the screen. It just didn't hit. The one funny thing or the one redeeming quality on that movie was the bit with Jennifer Lawrence and paying for the snacks. That was the only, probably, like you said, there was not a lot of good about it, but that was a running bit where it was just like the movie was 2.5 hours long and they're still hitting that joke at like 2 hours and 15 minutes, which bravo to that. I mean, if you're going to have a bit, you might as well bring it up like 5 or 6 times in the movie.
Right. I still enjoy how big of an asshole Jonah Hill can be. To me it's funny. It just the way he can go about it. But that was like the one thing that I enjoyed about the movie.
See, I with you after watching it, I was like, That was actually really good by Jonah Hill. But
Yeah.
in the moment, the very first scene where they're sitting in the Oval Office, I'm like, I don't like this character. Like, he's way too much of a douche. Which I
Yeah.
also thought the same thing of his character in Wolf of Wall Street when it
Mhm.
first started too. Like when they're in the restaurant and he's talking to Leo there, I was like, I don't know if I like this character at all. And then I end up loving him. And in the same way with this one.
Yeah, I agree. The first scene in the Oval Office, it was like, okay, he sucks. But then throughout the rest of the movie, to me, he was the bright part of the movie.
Mm-hmm. And I also did not like Leo's character until they got done with their first scene on the daytime show bit. Like when he was trying to pop Xanaxes and stuff and like freaking out and being nervous, I'm like, I don't like this character for Leo at all.
If you gave me Wolf of Wall Street drug addict Leo, I would
Right.
watch every single movie of his. Every
Mhm.
single one.
I'm just gonna say this because it shows, like you said, at the beginning he's the stutterer and I can't talk, all this shit, and he's taking Xanax and everything else. It's just amazing that the best drug in the world that cures all of that and your confidence is just some good pussy. Because he started fucking that one chick, and all of a sudden he didn't have a stutter anymore, and he was okay with going on Sesame Street and fucking everything else, dude.
He got that
Right.
confidence, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going
But-
back to the don't look up thing, I know a couple of you guys touched on it last week on the podcast and said it was not worth the watch, not great. So
Yeah, I don't
this
watch it.
weekend, I can't remember what night it was, like walk into the bedroom, Netflix is up, and that movie's like halfway through, and go, you don't listen to the podcast, do you?
Oh, she got.
What'd she
Yeah.
think?
I don't know. I don't even know if she finished it. I'll have to ask her. But
Yeah, I guess if she doesn't care for our opinions, I don't care for hers.
well,
either, so.
I mean, she's married to me, so
Right.
Yeah.
Katrina's been fighting this uphill battle her entire life. So.
yeah, especially the last 10 years.
So I hear Ryan watched another Marvel movie.
I did. So I watched Shang-Chi yesterday, actually. And I said after Endgame, I'll preface this by saying Infinity War was probably my favorite Marvel movie. I loved Infinity War.
Mhm.
I did not enjoy Endgame very much. I don't know. Something about it just didn't hit right with me. And after that, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of done with the superhero stuff, except for maybe new Batmans.
Mhm.
But I heard a lot of people say a lot of good things about Shang-Chi, so I gave it a shot yesterday. That, to me, was a phenomenal movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
Nice.
It didn't feel like your typical Marvel movie. The fights I thought were really well done. I thought the main character was really likable, but the final big battle, based around the Asian culture and everything, was very entertaining to me. It was different than most Marvel stuff, so I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed it.
Is it in your top? Is it in your top 5 Marvel movies?
So my top 5 Marvel movies is going to be way different. I know I asked you guys to kind of come up with your top 5. My top 5 is going to be way different than everyone else's, I can guarantee. And I have it wrote down. My first one would be Infinity War. My second, which I don't know if a lot of people consider it an actual Marvel movie, but I would put it, Logan would be my second one.
Nice.
Solid.
Third would be the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Fourth would be African American Panther, and rounding up the top 5 would be Shang-Chi.
African American Panther. Well, you're not wrong, but I just
So
And I'm trying to be PC here. Come on.
yeah, there you go.
I like it. I like it.
So yeah, my top 5 I know is weighted because I know everyone has Captain America and yeah.
Not exactly. So my top 5, I also share the enjoyment of Infinity War.
Did you see Shang-Chi though?
I have. I just watched that on Christmas, actually.
How'd you like it?
I did enjoy Shang-Chi. I thought it was great. It is its own movie. It is different. It's based around a different kind of culture. So I thought it was good. I thought it was good for that character's movie. So, but it's not my top 5. So I've got Infinity War. I also enjoy Endgame. I'm putting that up there. and I'm not going to put these really in necessary any order, but my top 5 to round out the last 3 are Thor Ragnarok, Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, and then Spider-Man No Way Home, the new release. I thought that was a great movie.
I've heard it's good.
Nice. I can go next. I haven't seen Shang-Chi or the new Spider-Man. Actually, I'm kind of behind on the last 2 or 3 Marvel movies, but I've got Infinity War like you guys. Ragnarok is my second. Endgame would be third. I like the second Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's funnier to me, but whatever. And then I've also got Black Panther as my fifth, and I didn't know, since they're not really Marvel movies until now, I also had honorable mentions of Logan and Deadpool because I love both of those.
Oh, yeah.
Deadpool is
Deadpool's a good one.
fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I don't want to sound like the same, but I mean, Infinity War was just so good, and it wasn't the one thing that takes away from Endgame is there's a lot of like fan service, which obviously I love being a fan of it, but I would say Infinity War 1. I really love Captain America's Civil War, or I'm sorry, not Civil War, Winter Soldier. I think that one's really high up there. It's just, I don't know. I think it's the best individual story probably in there without it gets too mashed up when there's too much collaboration between, all the universes and different, oh, he's from this movie. Now he's crossing over like the first Avengers. So I don't know. I think, what did I say? Winter Soldier 2. I think the first Avengers 3, that one's just classic. Same thing with Iron Man 1. I mean, that's what started it all. And I think that just holds it up a little bit higher. Golly, I guess I'm just gonna have to go with you guys. I think Guardians 1, that was the first one that was so different out there, and characters that probably, regular fans or not, ones that get into the comics have not heard of. And with that might be one. I mean, that's easily probably the best soundtrack of any of the movies, and it's just, it was weird and it worked.
Yes. So did you see Shang-Chi then?
Yes.
What were your thoughts?
Well, I'm not very good at these movie reviews because
you can talk crap about it. I don't care.
Well, I go to the movie the first night so I don't miss any spoilers. But by the time I get there after working a full day, I think I fell asleep in theaters for like the 20 minutes. It was nothing major. It was the 20 minutes when they get to the village before they start the big final fight. So I didn't miss really anything. I don't know. Awkwafina, she's just not my favorite actress. I don't know.
I don't enjoy her either.
Yeah, she just stuck out as not. I don't know. I didn't think she quite fit, but there's plenty of times where her jokes did land, too. I don't know. Go ahead. Sorry.
My story about her, whatever show she has on Comedy Central.
More from Queens or something.
Yeah. So when I had COVID, I was very sick with COVID. So I sat there for 3 weeks on the couch watching TV and basically watched every single episode of The Office every day on Comedy Central. Every commercial break from Awkwafina, whatever, New York. So I just got so sick of hearing the same damn commercial over and over again, where I've never actually seen her work, and I did not like her at all. So when I hear her voice on Shang-Chi, I'm just like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And
her again.
Yeah. And so it ended up, she didn't really bother me too much actually in the movie, but if I ever see that dang commercial again.
I thought it was a weird, like, I know why they did it, but it was a weird callback to bring in Ben Kingsley because of the 10 Rings, and he was the original, not Mandalorian. What am I trying to say? He was like the original bad of Iron Man 3, and then they brought him back in the same like dopey, sidekick role in this one.
I did enjoy his deal about why he became an actor with the monkeys.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. So, I don't know. I like Shang-Chi, but honestly, I like all of their projects. I just what separates the best of them from all of the rest of them that are honestly usually pretty good now. They have Disney money. They can do anything they want in these movies now.
Yeah. I think I just, with Endgame, like I said, it just didn't hit with me. And then after that, I'm like, okay, I spent, a decade watching all these different movies. and at the end it just kind of fell flat. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of done with the superhero thing. So I gave this one a chance, and I enjoyed it a lot. Now I've heard that the Eternals isn't so great, but
Yeah, that one.
I was just gonna ask because I got a 6.8 on IMDb. I didn't know if anyone else had seen that, and I was looking forward to that.
I have yet to watch it.
Yeah,
Fell asleep in theaters during the big fight, so it didn't keep my attention. I don't know. I'm gonna give it another chance, but it was drawn out too long. There's a love interest that doesn't make sense in it. I think some of the stuff where like the Eternals are supposed to all basically be Superman with different powers. It kind of explains a little bit why they were never involved early on, and there is a connection to like Thanos. So there is some, but it's not like, hey, it's cosmic weird Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like cosmic but serious, and it just
no.
It didn't quite land. Like I said, I'm going to give it another shot because, again, if I fall asleep and miss 40 minutes of the movie in theaters, then obviously I don't have the full picture. But
Falling asleep in the theater seems to be a very common theme with you.
Yeah, it does.
Dude, these chairs are so fucking comfy. You have a tub of popcorn in your stomach, and these seats are heated now. Like, I'm snug as a bug in a rug in the movies, dude.
I love
our local movie theater has the reclining chairs now, and my gosh, is that just so awesome.
It's deadly, dude.
I love that this is now becoming news to the rest of the world. I think I've been with Bryant like 3 or 4 times. He's fallen asleep in the theater.
Lord of the Rings 3, I think, was the first one I fell asleep in theaters.
Have you ever sat through a full movie without falling asleep?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's just been more of a problem as I've gotten into my late 20s. Where, like I said, it's like I'm probably bored on a night, and I'm like, well, it's only 7:30. Let's get a movie ticket for 8:30 or whatever, and I didn't nap earlier, so I just
this millennial TikTok generation just can't handle 2 hours.
And tune in next week to see what movie Bryant slept through this time.
I won't act like TikTok hasn't rotted my brain because you get to like a 20-minute YouTube video or whatever, and sometimes I'm like, can we just get to the fucking end of this? You know, it really has rotted my brain.
It's bad because like we'll be watching something and I can't pay attention to it the full time. I have to go to my phone, and Rebecca's saying all these different series we need to watch, which have hour-long episodes, and I'm like, I can't do it. I cannot pay attention for that long in one sitting.
Yeah, it sucks.
I agree.
All right, well, that was the movie minute.
Oh, hey, Trent's still awake.
I'm back.
Get the load changed from the washer and the dryer and took the dog out and everything.
Yep, got it. All my chores done. We're ready to go for tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah, so let's wrap this up. Again, thanks for hanging with us, everybody, the whole time here on this podcast, previous podcasts. Let us know how we're doing. We do like the feedback. That's only going to help us in the future. How can you get a hold of us, Joey?
Yep, hit us up on the Instagram and Twitter at Heartland. Yeah, at Heartland Pulse. And then on Facebook and YouTube, just search Pulse of the Heartland. Find us on all the major podcasting platforms. Spread the news. Let your friends know how good or how bad we are. And let's have them come listen to all the dumb shit we talk about.
All right, everybody. Well, have a good weekend.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.